Welcome to another episode of the Cyber Culture Cafe podcast, where John and Andy will introduce you to another fascinating member of the eSentire family. Welcome, Brandon, to the podcast. Please give us a brief introduction of where you are within the company now and your current roles and responsibilities, and we will start from there.
My name is Brandon Stencell. I manage the incident handling team within our security operations center. I've been with the company about 12 years now, as of about a month from now. And my responsibility is basically to bridge the gap between security operations center and traditional incident response.
Well, hold on. We got to break that down there.
Yeah. No, I think what might be useful, Brandon, is for you to describe what you understand incident handling to mean. Where are the guide rails for that responsibility?
All right.
So the guardrails there, basically, if we're looking at managed detection and response, which is something that eSentire is responsible for, basically we pull in some of those digital forensics capabilities and respond to critical incidents. So things like compromises within the customer environments and basically identifying initial access and how those incidents came to be. Where we stop is traditional forensics, where you may have to pull like disk images, memory images, and pull in additional tool sets.
Well, that's cool. All right. So let me ask you this. So I'm going to try to understand this in my little pea brain mind. So the SOC gets an alert, right, from say CrowdStrike or one endpoint tool. It could be any endpoint tool. They take action on that alert. When does the actual incident handling, or is it happening at the same time? Are you all involved in everything that goes on like that, or do they pass something to you to investigate deeper?
So it can happen in two different ways. So one method is they send their alert, they work with the customer, and then the customer confirms, this isn't expected. This seems like it's something very serious. The other path is we look at a lot of those alerts going out, and we basically hunt against those alerts and try and piece them together. So if we see 2 or 3 for one customer, we might say, you know what, that seems like it represents a serious situation here. So we'll jump in, take that, and start doing like a miniature incident response immediately with them.
So you're automatically doing that. That's awesome. I mean, that's true threat hunting. If I was to say there's a definition, I think that's a definition right there. We're automatically doing it. That's what we're doing. That's kick ass.
Is this happening whilst you're also, who's responsible then for informing the customer that this is going on their behalf? At what point does that sort of the customer join in? Typically.
So, I mean, it could be, we might give the guidance to the SOC to engage the customer and elevate the situation, give them the phone call and explain what's happening. We may take over communications, or there might be an incident bridge that the customer opens or we open on their behalf, and we can jump on those calls and interact with them pretty much in real time.
And these we tend to run that predominantly over Slack, don't we? I've seen those pop up every so often.
Yeah, we use private channels in Slack workflows to help kind of automate it and standardize it on our side.
On your side. That's awesome. That's cool. So, I got to say, we talked to a lot of the SOC folks and some of the, the true team members. Honestly, your job isn't, it's not all fortune and glory. That's for sure. You don't have an easy gig, man. That's not an easy thing to take on wake up every day and say, like, what the hell am I going to see today? I'm sure it's not. Is it stressful every year? You're like, oh my God, I don't know what the hell's going on. Or do you guys, have that ability to just forget about everything else and just focus on what you got to do? That's a tough deal. I don't know. It's a hard job.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hybrid between fully understanding what's happening based on your experience, and every incident's different. So there's a lot of times I'm looking at it and I have no idea what's happening. So you just got to take a breath, try and figure it out, and realize that you're honestly in a better spot than the person on the other end of the phone call. So anything you can do to help make their day better is useful.
See, I think that's important. And I know we were talking about other things before the call, and that's where team members, the human being, the human aspect of everything we do truly makes the difference. You can't truly create something to automatically do that for you. This is a human being that's saying, hey, I see a pattern here. I'm seeing this is different. This might be a false positive here. Let me dive in. Right. That's incredible. The people that we have doing that for our customers, they got to realize all the stuff that they're getting with our service, right? It's not just, oh, here's an endpoint tool, right? And we're going to watch it and make sure everything's okay. It's not that way. It's really diving deep to make sure that you don't have that business disruption. That's incredible. right? I mean, and like I said, like Andy and I, we have a fun job, right? We get to tell your story, the True Team, the SOC, all the great things they do. It's easy for us to tell your story. You tell us some great things that happen, like, oh, listen to this, right? But you guys are just knee deep in everything every single day. Is it ever? Let me ask you this. So, do you ever wake up and start your day off, and all of a sudden something's so crazy, you're like, I don't even know where to begin. Like, there's so many things you can look at. How do you know where to focus on?
It's all about breadcrumbs, really. You find one thing and you're like, okay, I'm going to deep dive this. I'm going to find out what happened at this exact moment. And then you either move left or right on the timeline. So what happened before, what happened after, what services are available or what technologies are deployed, what information will those give me? And then you just kind of jump around those investigative pivot points is what I like to call them.
See, that's interesting. So you're right. I think the more visibility you have, right, if the customer has multiple components of our MDR service, it's easier for you to look at those breadcrumbs and pull things out and grab stuff from all different points of telemetry. But if they have one service with us, maybe it's just endpoint, right? How do you can only go so far back and forth, yeah?
Yeah, and usually if we use that example of endpoint only, it becomes a conversation of what other technologies do you have? Do you have log exports that you can pass over to us so we can take a look at those and see if we can correlate them to the data that we do have?
See, that's also important right there, because imagine a customer that says, look, I only have a budget for endpoint, but I'm logging some things here. I have my firewall logs I can look at. I may have some network device. We still take that and bring it in and say, let me look at it to see if I can figure out a little bit more. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, again, that's important. That's another service. We don't even charge for that, right?
Do you find, Brandon, that you are asking often for other sources that may not be under management?
Most often, I would say in the current threat landscape, it's probably VPN logs that we're looking for, and to some other extent, maybe IAS logs. So you're looking for like a lot of like newer exploits that are coming out. So we're not asking for a huge export of logs, but a very specific subset that we think will be very useful to the investigation that we're running at that time.
Right.
And obviously the clock's running and you're under pressure, under time pressure as well, to sort of deliver some sort of result fairly quickly. I mean, obviously, John's covered this as this is probably the hardest part of the business. Because what you would consider a baseline of work, we would consider, hair pulling and nail pulling activity.
Yeah.
It becomes quite a challenge because obviously you're under time pressure as well to sort of come up with something, or at least come up with a direction of travel.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's an accurate statement for sure. Really, when you understand how much work it's going to be, you end up going down a lot of rabbit holes. So you may have a theory and you might look at the same process or file or whatever for 2 hours, looking at it every which way, and then you find out that there's nothing there, and then you have to move on to like your next lead. So there are those times you get stuck, and you just have to take a breath and look at something else. Maybe walk away for a few minutes, take a quick walk, come back to it with a fresh set of eyes. Maybe consult somebody that might not be in the same line of work, but maybe they know certain technologies a little bit better, bounce some ideas off them.
So, instant handling, it's not like, did you just see this position? It's like, oh, that sounds like a thing I want to do. Why not? Instant handling. That sounds like a fun gig. I mean, did you say, that's for me? I mean, did you just step into this role, or were you always an incident handler at eSentire?
So it was a function that the company didn't always have. So I think it was probably 5 or 6 years ago, a few of us had the same idea around the same time where we needed a little bit more coordinated response to these situations, which early in my eSentire career were kind of rare. But then we were starting to see an uptick in new zero-day vulnerabilities. So we all decided, we need this function. We need a group of people to take advanced skills and deal with these situations.
Okay.
That gets interesting then. So that was an idea from a few years ago. It's now sort of settled in as part of the program of work, and you're sort of established this coordinatory sort of role, and you're directing traffic in a particular way and calling on resources as and when you need them. Are you seeing then as work increases for your team, that there are other enhancements that you could do? What sort of things are you discussing might happen next? How would you better organize yourselves to continue to handle this uptick?
So I think the big one right now is trying to pull more from the classical digital forensics tool sets. So things like tracking timelines or evidence collection or automated means of pulling digital artifacts off systems. I think that would make it a lot more realistic for us to scale with a smaller group of people that we have. The elephant in the room obviously is going to be AI enhancement. Something I don't really not super fond of, but I mean there's value there in analyzing artifacts.
Where do you think that value could be added? Where would the value be for you in the way that you're seeing the processing happening now?
I mean, the big one would just be, speed in analyzing artifacts. So if I have 20 systems, I want to pull one artifact from all of them. It'll take me a long time to look at those 20 artifacts on those systems. Automation or AI, whatever you want to call it, that could take seconds, and I could just review a summary export of that.
So, see, this is where I think, and we have to be super careful, right? Because I think that regardless of any AI that we use or any organization, you have to still train the AI, right? It's just not going to, I mean, I know we're getting to the point where it's going to say, hey, here's this particular, I'll say, subject. And now by its, I guess, learning its experience from all the things that we've been doing, it knows it can be this or this, so it can know which way it can go. So it starts to learn a little bit. But I think that as threat actors are using AI, just like we are, it's only going to make it more difficult. I only think it's going to defeat the purpose, right? It's not like AI is going to be the end all be all. It's going to make everything easy. I don't think that's the case at all. I think you still are going to have that human being that gets that feeling that says, I think I need to look at this, even though everything's pointing over here. If I'm a threat actor, I'm not going to take the easy way, and everybody's going to say, "Oh, they're going to guess it right away." I want to go somewhere different. I want to throw that.
All right,
wrench,
so let's play that out a little bit further then. So humans are the only ones going to have gut feeling, but they have to exercise those muscles to recognize that gut feeling, much in the same way that AI does. But if we draw, and Brandon, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm going to try and draw an analogy in this space. AI could be used for IOCs because we've seen how IOCs are used in the past. But for the 0 days, I still need a human on that. Now, are we going to see a disparity now if we continue to use humans on 0 days where they're developing the practice that we may automate, and then have AI automate the IOCs once we recognize what to do with them?
Yeah, I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of AI identifying these vulnerabilities before the humans. It's just I mean, it can do pattern matching probably a lot quicker than any human can. So I know there's already been some progress in that space. So I think we're going to see kind of a continued expansion on that. So AI, discovering it first, or like pitching a theory on a vulnerability or an exploit that it's seeing, and then the human doing a lot more verification.
But they're going to be there. That you feel that there's a likelihood that that's going to be working hand in hand, so that the more mundane tasks get automated, and the more esoteric ones or ethereal ones end up being human driven. But we end up with quite a disparity there, where we're either driving or directing traffic, or we're exploring how to drive on these particular foreign roads.
Yeah, I think that's how that would play out for sure.
Mm.
So, all right, let me ask you this. Did you always want to do something like you're doing now? Did you start off at a school and say, "Oh, this is what I want to do," or did you do something totally different? And
how did you get here? Yeah, how did you get here?
Right.
So I came out of high school really liking chemistry and mathematics. So I actually pursued university up here in Canada with a chemistry major with a math minor. Due to a lot of things, I was a bad student, so I didn't necessarily perform well at that. So I decided
hang on. Why were you a bad student?
There
Too
you
much
go.
freedom.
There you go. I mean, honestly, I got to tell you, I don't know what year you graduated high school, but when I was in high school, they did have chemistry. I never took chemistry though. That wasn't for me.
We weren't
I
allowed
had to
to.
have
We blew
1
up the
year, I
chem
think, of
lab about
science.
3 times.
Yeah,
We got back. We got expelled from school for a term.
there you go. So chemistry and mathematics. Okay, and then what?
So basically, some things happened. So I ended up dropping out from that and decided to go to like more of a college around home. So I was looking for what I wanted to do, and I was like, I'm pretty good with computers. I've seen shows like CSI or NCIS, those kinds of things. You see like the hacking and the forensic work and whatever. So I was like, that sounds interesting. So I'll take a computer security investigations course, 3-year diploma. So that was kind of my transition over into the security world.
And then was eSentire your first gig out of school, or did you have worked somewhere else before that?
So I worked 3 months at a school doing a kind of like an IT support role for the school board. Didn't really like it. It was more like help desk type stuff. Have you tried turning it off and on again? Is it connected? Whatever. So didn't really enjoy that. And then, I had some classmates from college that joined up with eSentire. So I was like, you know what? I'll join SOC work, maybe do like a year there, then trying to get into a government law enforcement, like forensics work.
Yeah.
And that was like basically 12 years later, and I haven't left.
There you go. See, now it's funny that you say forensic work. My wife loves, and I know you know my wife, she loves that, CSI and all that stuff. She wanted to actually do that as well. She wanted to do forensics, like murder scenes, like crazy murder scenes.
That would be cool.
Yes, that's what she wanted to do. Like, let me tell you something. We watch ID Discovery. I don't know if you know what that channel is, right? With the murder things, 24 hours a day. It's on. It's on right now, actually. She has it on in her office. She has it on in the background. So Dexter is her favorite show. I mean, I got to tell you, that's the shit she likes to do. And I'm like, she has that kind of mindset where that kind of, I'm surprised she never went and did anything more like that. But yeah, that's actually cool. So you did that, and then you started eSentire. You've been here 12 years. That's awesome. Good
So what's
for
your
you,
journey
man.
been, Brandon, to get here after the 12 years? Where did you start in the
He was a SOC analyst, right? You were a
SOC analyst?
Yeah, I mean, I probably had 7 or 8 roles at this point. So I started as a SOC analyst, moved up to senior analyst. I became a team lead. Then I was a tech lead. Then I was, I think, a security specialist. I think there was one more in there. Then I was an incident handler, and now I'm the manager of the incident handling team. So like, there's a lot of bouncing around. So one of those roles, I went over to our customer success team for a while. I wanted to get a little bit more experienced with phone calls and.
What? I never would. You were a customer success manager too? Get the hell out of here! Really?
Not a manager. No, I was a security specialist supporting their team.
Supporting the team.
Yeah, so I did a year and a half of that.
I'm sure they call you all the time. I know my wife calls you all the time, and she's always slacking you. Hey, I'm sure that you're never going to get out of that role.
Oh yeah, all the time.
But that's good. I mean, that's a good gig. That's awesome. Wow.
Quite a journey, though.
Yeah, for sure. So let me ask you this: you're in this stuff knee deep every single day. What do you do after work? Or even on the weekends, stuff like to just let loose and be like, oh my God, I cannot think about these things that are going on. Like you don't even think about computer stuff or security stuff. What else? What do you do?
I mean, ironically, I'm a bit of a PC gamer as well. So I mean, that's still computer world, but I'm also a drummer. I've been playing about 20 years. So
that is correct. I knew you were a drummer, and I was going to ask you today. I don't know if you will play it for us, but would you be able to do a little bit of show us a little of your skills on the drums? That would be wonderful. Now, your wife, by the way, who was on our show last week, she said, I will get him to do that if we can. But listen, no pressure, brother. I'm just saying, I would love to hear you jam. I heard that you were an incredible drummer. You were in bands and stuff.
Yeah, I was in bands in high school, but then during the pandemic, I was in a band for about 2.5 years. We did some shows. Singer moved away out to British Columbia, so now I'm playing with another band. Same kind of music. Guys are a little bit older, but we do it for fun basically every Monday.
Yeah, but you could be a rock star. Do you know we spoke to someone else on the show?
What do you mean he could be a rock star? He should be a rock star.
He should forget about doing this stuff. Be a rock star.
He's a rock star here.
Yeah, but that's true. But listen, though, music though is incredible. That's like a passion kind of thing. Like we actually spoke to who wasn't on the show, Andy, that we had that was touring up and down the East Coast as a singer and I think played guitar, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Who was that?
Yeah, we've had a couple actually that have done that. It
Yeah.
was one of the earlier ones, only one of the
Yeah.
earlier recordings.
See how I'm getting too old? I freaking forgot already now. Son of a bitch.
I mean, forget the
Fuck, no.
chemistry and math, forget the computer security
Yeah.
stuff. The dream was always to be a studio drummer, but
Yeah.
right
Dude,
or
that's
wrong, I was kind of
awesome.
pushed away from that. It's all about who you know in that industry. Like, you got to
True.
be in the right geographical locations as well. So it wasn't
Yeah.
really going to work out that well.
Yeah,
But
you
it
never
talks to the
know,
way
though.
your brain's wired, though. It does talk to the way your brain's wired, and the maths and the chemistry work with the music, that you're very organized in those patterns.
Yeah, I think that's if you look at my entire life a little bit, I played hockey as a kid. I played defense. It was kind of like your foundation of the team, other than the goalie, obviously. You look at the drummer; it's the foundation of the rhythm section. And if you look at security business, you got your incident handlers and forensic responders. It's kind of the defense as well. So it's kind of what I gravitate towards in every facet of my being.
That's awesome. So, all right. So before we go back to the drumming, so your wife had informed us that you guys been together for a very long time. So how did you guys meet?
We both played in band back in high school, actually. She played clarinet. I played percussion.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's right. I remember. Yeah. So you guys played in high school. So you met in high school, and you guys been together ever since.
Yeah.
That's
I think it's
incredible.
20 years this year. We always forget how long it's been.
So let me ask you this: now that you're married, right? You've been together a long time. Do you guys ever play games together? And does she ever piss you off while you're playing? You're like, I am gonna do you guys play against each other where you're shooting her and stuff or something like that? Do you play those kind of games or?
we do, yeah. So one of the
Yeah,
big ones was Star Wars Battlefront, and then we moved on
well,
to
that's
Call of
cool.
Duty. And when we started playing Call of Duty, we're both very competitive with one another. So I, kind of started to let her win a couple times, and she's like,
Oh,
"Don't you dare let me win!" So
she did mention that. She
yeah,
said,
she
"Don't do
endured a
it."
lot of pain and suffering with Call of Duty until she built up the skills to compete with me at that level.
Watch my kids do. They would play at one time, and then they asked me to play one time. And I got to tell you, I didn't even get 2 feet, and they shot me they sniped me from somewhere. I'm like, this sucks. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. I can't even move the guy around. He's spinning around and shit. I played games when I was younger, like when the first PlayStation came in, the first Xbox. Other than that, forget it. I can't do those games today. They actually make me sick. I mean, because they look so realistic. Have you ever seen? I mean, some of those games in here are incredible. I
Is
mean,
it the Escape from Tarkov apparently is the worst one that you have
I'm
to
so
play
bad
on
at
your
that one.
own, because it's just absolutely mind-bogglingly scary.
yeah, it's crazy some of those things, man. But wow, so you guys are very competitive. So what's your favorite game that you can play no matter what?
Honestly, probably any of the Mario platformers. They're probably my favorites of all
Oh,
time.
those are actually cool. I remember playing that in the original Nintendo. God, and
Yeah,
Zelda.
Super Mario Brothers 3 on the NES, that was kind of my jam.
Yes. Yeah,
Still to
yeah.
this day.
Yeah, that's actually cool. I actually saw an advertisement and I asked my wife, she's like, "You're not getting that." So I saw where they have these fire sticks
Why did you even ask? You knew she was going to say no, John.
I knew it. But it's these sticks or these boxes where you can plug them in your TV and play all those old games. They all fit on those sticks. I'm like, oh, that'd be so awesome. How cool would that be? She's like, come on, that'd be great. A lot of fun. Then I saw a brand new Atari 2600 that was yellow. It was like something for Pac-Man, some kind of anniversary
Special
thing.
edition or
I'm
something.
like, that would be killer. Those games were so much fun. Those games, I used to love those games. Those are my speed. I can't do those new ones
There was
today.
there used to be a little
crazy.
game console when I think it was the iPhone 4 or 5, and you could slip the phone into this case that looked like a little mini arcade game.
Yeah, you can still.
And you
They
could
have
slide the
those
phone
things
in, and you could
today.
play the games on the phone.
Yeah. They had the little the PS Vista, I think it was, or something like that, a little handheld. I think one of the
Oh, the
kids had
Vita.
that. The Vita, whatever. Yeah. They had those things. I mean, they got all the PlayStations, and we got the 5s now and all that. Yeah, I mean, some of the games they play, it's like, whew, I can't. I mean, it's
Have
incredible the
you
detail.
tried VR?
You know what? I did have one of those. I have it somewhere over here. It was the Facebook one. And those are actually cool. But let me tell you, I can only do that for so long. I actually feel like I'm getting sick. I mean, you can actually feel like you're getting sick and shit. Like you're spinning around doing stuff. I had some Star Wars games. That was killer. shooting and stuff and then fighting with the lightsaber. But I would, I'm not super good. I stopped playing because I'm like, I'm going to break it. I could smash it. I have no patience. My wife will tell you, I have no patience, especially for driving. I lose my shit constantly because people are stupid. And I'm starting to get angry even thinking about it. But I play those games and I start getting, I can't. I start to, lose my patience.
So maybe avoid sim racing then. It might aggravate you.
Oh, racing. Your wife mentioned this. You guys were on vacation.
Now, actually, hang on. There's the bridge. Have you played the, is it Assetto?
Assetto Corsa, yeah.
Corsa, yeah. Have you played that?
Yep, Assetto Corsa, iRacing, Gran Turismo, Forza. I've done.
That's all racing games.
Yeah.
Do you have the whole console that races, the steering wheel and all that stuff?
No console, but I have the wheel and pedals at my desk, so that's kind of my.
Cool.
Yeah, eventually I'll need the full setup.
Because you guys have just had a trip, right?
Yeah, we were just going to talk about this. There's a racing
and did you practice on any of those racing games before you went?
Yeah, it was probably 2 weeks of just running laps on one specific track. I don't know if you wanted to lead into that in any way, but
yeah, absolutely.
So hold on a minute. So when Andy showed me this, and then he sent me a video, I'm like, what? So you went on this course, and you were going how fast on this race course? And it's not like a race track like in Daytona or something. This is through hills and mountains.
It's a road course.
This is like outrageous, like in Europe.
Yep. So we had a trip into Germany. So I did laps on the Nürburgring Nordschleife. So basically, my fastest speed there was 195 kilometers per hour. So that was on one of the big straightaways.
Oh wait, so 190 kilometers. What is that in miles per hour? Because of course in the States we're ass backwards and we do things different.
25. Is
sure,
it?
I don't know the conversion that very well.
It's about 1.5 kilometers to a mile. 190.
So you're probably talking, 130 something miles per hour, 140 miles an hour. That's crazy. But that wasn't just like a straightaway. I mean, these were like what he showed me.
126.
How in the world did you drive that fast on those turns and those? I mean, that's like crazy.
What was your average? What did you? Well, let's hang on. Let's put this in perspective. So the Nordschleife is what, 72 turns?
I think it depends on how you look at it. I know one of the common figures that's thrown out there is 154 turns, but that includes the little small kinks in the road and stuff like that. I think it's something like 72 proper corners.
But the course is 17 miles.
Yeah, or 20.8 kilometers.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm used to the metric.
So yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm just thinking of our North American audience as well to deliver the two. How many laps? And what were your times for your laps? What was the progression?
Times, honestly, I don't know. The way they do it, so they do their Touristenfahrten, which is tourist drives. So they treat it as a public toll road. Basically, you have your lap tickets for 40 euros per lap, and you do your lap from. It's not the full course either. They have a section blocked off on one of the straightaways. So approximately, your average driver would probably go around in about 10 minutes, give or take, depending on their pace. Being a rookie with an instructor, I was probably right at that mark. I can't imagine it was under 10.
So you had somebody in the car with you?
Yeah, pro driver. He had 25 years experience, 3,000 laps on that specific track himself.
Wow.
It's spectacular. There's a chap on YouTube, Misha Sharudin, who basically lives there. And he used to drive one of the taxis and now does testing and does YouTube videos driving other people's cars around the course. As you mentioned, Brandon, you go on at one section and you come off at another section. You miss this long straight, which is something like 1.5 miles or something, I think.
Yeah, very, very long. So
there's another one chap at the moment, Mr. JWW, who has just bought a GT3 RS, Weissach edition. And he is attempting to do a sub 7 minute lap in a road legal car. Obviously, Mustang recently set the sub 7 minutes for an American car. They've just been beaten by Corvette. Mustang are back on the track this week to try and beat it again.
Under 7 minutes, you're saying?
Under 7 minutes.
How fast you have to go? You're going to do that in under 7 minutes.
Well, do the math. It's
Dude, I can't do math.
It's
I'm
very
not doing
easy.
it. Yeah, it's extremely fast. It's
Very,
absolutely
very, very
horrendously
fast.
crazy.
And you cannot
Okay.
make a mistake at all.
I think the official like overall record, if you're excluding production road legal cars, I think is under 6 minutes. And if you watch like the onboard for that, it's just wild. It's hard to process each corner that the driver is taking at that speed. They're probably averaging over 200 miles per hour.
That's crazy.
And it's
Going
literally
that
what? It's about
fast down
2.5 cars wide.
Yeah, I think they said like the track is 7 meters, which is probably what like
That's nuts.
I don't know. It's actually it's wider than it looks in the videos, but then you have those very thin strips of grass near the wall, so it's very nerve-wracking there.
Yes. Do they race motorcycles there as well, or is it just cars?
So they have special events with motorcycles. They used to have them on the public days as well, but I think it became too dangerous for that, so most of the time they don't allow them.
Yeah, I would say a motorcycle. They're nuts on that too. I don't think I would do that because you got nothing to help you there. Not if you're doing 200 miles an hour. Nothing's going to help you anyway. You get into an accident. I don't think you're going to be like, oh, walking out.
But it's extremely expensive because your insurance is null and void because you're racing and you're on a track. The organization charge you for damage and charge you for repair.
So you're saying to me, my car insurance is not going to help me if I go racing that stuff? So, okay.
So I rented a car. I like a tactile driving experience, so I picked one of the ones with a manual, just the way I like to drive.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with my keyboards, manual switches, whatever. So I picked like a Ford Fiesta ST, 200 horsepower, relatively slow car. If you total that car, the excess for the insurance is 15,000 euros, which is like 25,000 Canadian. If you damage the barriers, it's 1,000 euros per meter, and they only sell it in the 1 meter increments. If the track closes from your accident, you are then on the hook for financial penalties for the track being closed. And if you happen to wreck another car and you're found at fault, you're on the hook for their car as well. So, if they're driving a Porsche GT3 RS, you've had a very expensive accident.
So hold on a minute. Knowing all of that, you said, you know what? I think I want to go race on that track.
Hence the slower car.
Yeah, wow. And
people
Lisa was like, yep, good, go do it.
Yeah,
So
you do a safety briefing first. So they start showing you videos of like, this person made this mistake. That rim cost them, 1,500 euros. This person, went over that curb and they flipped the car. That's how they messed up. They show you 4 or 5 different crash videos, explain all the situations. They basically give you the advice, if you don't drive 10 out of 10 of your ability, drive, a 6 out of 10. Give yourself lots of buffer there for margin for error.
And people are queuing up to go round. I mean, it's when they have public days, it's difficult to get on, right?
So I went on a Thursday. It's what I would highly recommend. And I didn't see it as lucky at the time. It happened to rain a few hours, very heavily, the few hours before I was going on track. So I was like, okay, this is going to be awful. The track started to dry up, but it was still kind of damp. But the rain also could push some people away. I think they were going to defer to the Friday or the Saturday, wait for a warmer day.
Ooh, I would be so nervous. I don't know if I would be able to do it. I'm not that brave.
I think on like a Saturday or Sunday, you can have up to like 600 cars on the track at once, which is just crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. I just talked to my wife the other day. I said, hey, we went up to this new place they opened up not too far. And they have like, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Top Golf. There's Top Golf there, right? They do that. And there's this new place they opened up. There's a bowling alley and some mini putt inside and all these great things. But next to it, they have a skydiving place where you go inside the thing and you float around. I'm like, hun, we should do that. That's my speed right there. I don't think I'd race. I mean, I drive crazy already. My wife already pisses and moans about it and gets mad at me on the road. I mean, if you ever talk to her, you can say, hey, I heard you love the way John drives. She will lose her mind right there. And you'll just set her off and she will go off on a tangent.
I'm going to remember that.
Yeah. Ooh, don't. If she ever annoys you, say, hey, you know what? I heard you like the way John drives. I heard you guys are driving together. I heard you love it. So I lose patience there driving. So, I mean, but honestly, I think the fastest I've ever gone in a car, I mean, driving maybe 100 at the most on Route 80 or one of those major highways in the States. But this was like late at night, nobody on the road. But still, I wouldn't go any faster than that. I don't think.
I'm going to do a quick conversion. So when we were in Germany, obviously I drove on the Autobahn as well. So I guess my top speed was 200 kilometers per hour. So about 125 miles per hour.
Now, is the car shaking when you're driving that fast? I mean, is it?
Not at all. Like the
No?
roads are flat, they're smooth. Honestly, driving in Germany was probably the most relaxing driving experience I've ever had. People follow the speed limits when they exist. When there isn't a speed limit, everyone moves over, they leave space, they pass,
And
then they move
everybody
back
can
over to
go.
the right. Nobody passes on the inside. Like it's very, very relaxing.
So it's relaxed. You've never driven in New Jersey then, I take it. You should probably come here and see how that shit is.
I've
That's
driven
always
down to
fun.
Philadelphia and that was
Oh,
bad.
right? It's terrible. It's like, oh my, it's probably worse than anything you've ever driven on. Driving in these states, New York, New Jersey, by Philly, it's just like people are just crazy.
It wasn't just the people, it was also just like the actual road surface. It felt like I was on a tank course.
Yeah. The roads are not the greatest here either.
Brandon, tell me this. I mean, I'm fascinated now that you've actually done the Nordschleife. What was your expectation going into that, and how has that changed having done it now? Would you go back again? Would you want to do it more often? Were there certain things you would want to do more practice of? How has your expectation changed now that you've actually done it?
So I was terrified going into it for, the financial cost, the potential injury or death that was going to happen or whatever. But I also kind of expected to go in and, normally they say, drive it like a spirited back road. And I expected to be kind of like a slow experience. Having the instructor, he actually was able to push me to a pace that was far beyond what I would have done on my own, especially since he knows every inch of the track. So I have every intention of going back there once, twice, 3 times. And I kind of wish I had done more than 4 laps. I mean, you're tired mentally after those 4 laps, but I think 6 or 8 would have been nicer because you're just starting to get comfortable with a lot of the corners.
It's probably like a lifetime driving around that many times.
It's a long way round. It's a long way round. I mean, the stuff I've done have been shorter tracks, but obviously done more. My first introduction was the Grand Prix course at Brands Hatch in the east of London, east of London, and it was a day session on the track. You get some time in a 4-door car, you get some time in a 2-door car, and you get some time in a single-seater car. I'm fairly wide. I couldn't fit into the single-seater. So I said, I'll stay in the saloon car because it's what I'm familiar with. I'm never going to drive a single-seater again. Can I do more time in the saloon car, which were the precursor to the Fiesta STs, the XR2Is, as they were called then. So slightly underpowered, but shorter course, not so much change in elevation. I ended up doing about 300 laps.
Wow. 300?
Because they go out for 10, and it's less than 2 miles a lap. Go out for 10, and then come in, and we'll discuss, and then when there's another gap, getting another car and go again. And it was like 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. All of a sudden, I've done about 300 laps. But as you say, you get from cautious to slightly less cautious, but because you're building that confidence and you're building that capability, you're starting to feel what the car actually feels like in those particular corners. And it's like 8 or 9 corners, the Brands Hatch courts.
Yeah, I've driven that one in the simulator. It'd be fun as well. And I firmly believe it's more fun to drive a slower car fast and towards its limit than it is to drive a fast car very, very slow. I feel like the car would feel dead at that point. So
yeah. Wow. I think my speed is probably at Epcot, the racetrack ride they have there. That's probably my speed there. I don't know if I would ever go on these racetracks and these roads. Just drive like I don't know. I mean, I like driving, but I'm like, ooh, I don't know. I'm not that good of a driver, I guess. I'd be nervous about it because I'd be yelling about it and everything, and there I'd be freaking out. I don't know.
So, Brandon, are there any other courses you'd want to do?
Yeah, absolutely. So Spa-Francorchamps in, I think, is that Belgium, France? I can't remember specifically.
Belgium,
yeah. That one's actually only 45 minutes from the Nürburgring, so too bad there wasn't a track day, around the same time as in that area. I'd also like to do Laguna Seca down in the U.S., down in California. Know that one very, very well from racing games over the years, so I'd like to drive that one in person and, drive that carousel. No, it's not carousel. I guess it is carousel, the big.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I know what you mean.
That's awesome. That'd be cool. Huh. Wow. So, all right, enough with the driving. Would you be able to play us a tune? We would love to hear you just play something small. Would that be possible?
So that might be something that could be added in post. My drums are down in the basement, and I'm upstairs right now, so
All
it'd be
right,
very
yeah. So
difficult to like
yeah,
make that
we
work.
can definitely do that. Oh, we
Or we can
definitely got to have
give an audio sample to
yes,
Gabe.
give an audio sample.
Maybe
Love
he
to hear
can
that.
plug that in as and when. All right. So driving, traveling, obviously a couple of laps of the Nordschleife. What else did you get up to in Germany? Did you do anything else?
Yeah, we checked out some of the famous castles. So Neuschwanstein, the big Disney, the castle that kind of inspired a lot of the Disney castles. We
Oh,
saw some
yeah, yeah.
palaces. Did some Rhine River cruises. Saw some more fortresses. Things that were built hundreds and hundreds of years ago, potentially as well. Ate some schnitzel. I found new
Did
food
you?
I really love, Schweinshaxe, which is their kind of, it's like a pork knuckle with crackling all around the outside, served with like a beer gravy.
Yeah, no
Very, very
kidding.
tasty. Very
Wow, there you
heavy.
go. Have you ever? Did you stay in those castles? Did you sleep in those castles?
No, unfortunately, can't.
No, you can't. They don't let you sleep there. Yeah, I don't know. Because I was telling my wife I want to take her to Ireland, but she's like, oh, come on, we'll stay in a castle, a haunted castle. That would be exciting, right? Be like a haunted castle and see if we can catch something.
Do you like not sleeping, John?
No, but there was. Yeah, we've stayed in places where they've been haunted before, and it's kind of funny. We freak out about it. It's kind of fun though. It's exciting and fun and scary at the same time. But I'm like, yeah, we should stay. Like I keep telling her, Halloween time, we should take a weekend when we don't have. It's just us, nothing major going on. We'll go down to Gettysburg, and we'll go like see those haunted places. That would be kick ass. I would love to do that.
John has
Even
a
though,
morbid obsession with this, and he
but let
does
me tell you,
mention this quite
I'm
regularly.
no, I'm no, I would be scared. I'm sure I would watch a couple of things, see a ghost, be like, all right, let's go. We're done. I'm not sleeping in
You're
this
going to
again. I'm
drive
not
off
doing
and
this again.
sleep in
Let's
the
go.
car somewhere in a lay-by.
Right. It's only a few hours away. I'm sure it's like, what, 3 hours away? Maybe I don't even know, but I would drive back home. Yep. Let's go. Time to leave. End of story.
I mean, maybe I'm a
Let's
little bit
go.
unusual. I think I like just sleep in places that aren't haunted, and I can just
Yeah.
have like a nice restful 8 hours.
Right. Right. Yeah, I always say that, but I don't know what would happen if I ever saw like a ghost or something. I'd probably lose my mind and be like, okay, this is a bad idea. Let's go. I don't think I would, I don't think I'd like it.
I
Be
mean, I'm a
honest.
scientific
But
mind. I think I would need to almost have that experience though to like get some validation that it either exists or does not exist.
Now, or rather, now you know why you're absolutely scared of this.
yeah, that would be crazy.
Yeah, that's now I know why. Now I
Right.
know why. Something was nagging in the back of my head that I should be scared of that thing, and now I know why I am.
Yeah, right. So with your job, incident handling and stuff, is there anything new that you are currently working on at eSentire? Stuff that I know you guys are always, innovating and doing some cool stuff and doing a lot of great stuff with all the different teams. Is there something cool you're working on currently?
Nothing specific, just trying to like build a skill set. So a bit more focus lately on cloud forensics for myself. I know like one of my teammates is working on building some of the forensic utilities that we leverage into the browser, so we can use that as more of a tool that
That's
for
awesome.
more of the broad SOC to use, kind of like streamline it for ourselves as well. So you're not running it from the command line. You can just upload the file into the browser, have it parse it, get the export.
Well, that would be cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. Wow.
Now, I was going to ask something else. Obviously, travel, you like your games on the computers and stuff, and the games consoles. What else do you guys do to recharge the batteries?
Yeah.
Great question. I mean, I'm a bit of a homebody. Lisa's certainly the one that like pushes me out anywhere. So,
well, she pushed you here for a start, right?
Yeah. She's like, let's
That's
go.
true.
Get on there. Yep.
I mean, the plan was always to like do the podcast. It's just, I wasn't jumping at the recording opportunity.
Right.
Has it been scary so far?
No, it hasn't.
It's not. Yeah. But we definitely want you to do a little audio clip for us so we can come back on and add it into the
we
show.
can get
I'd
Gabe
love
to do that.
Yeah,
So, all right.
Gabe
Sorry,
will
Brandon,
add
we interrupted you. You were going to say, what else do you, with Lisa being a little bit more adventurous than you are? What does she force you to do that you've actually enjoyed?
I mean, basically the travel in general. Normally, I wouldn't have been the traveling person before meeting Lisa. I probably would have just stayed in Canada, stayed in Ontario, maybe driven, a few hours any which way.
Yeah, right.
So the idea
That's
of flying
cool.
somewhere to do something was probably not on my radar.
So out of all the places you've been, what's your favorite place?
Easily Germany, and then I would say Ireland's a close second.
Is it so much that you'd actually consider living there?
Honestly, either of them, yes.
No
Definitely.
kidding.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome.
And obviously you're talking about Cork and Ireland as well, right?
Yeah, we did a tour in Ireland last year. So we started in Dublin, went down to like Cork, Ballincollig, made our way to Galway, and then up to kind of like the northwest
What's your favorite
area.
place in Ireland? See, I want to go there too. I will have enough time to go to those different places. I'd like to do that.
The south.
So we
The south. I like the south a lot.
We didn't see everything, but I think Galway was our favorite.
Okay, well, that's awesome.
And I enjoyed driving there too. Driving on the opposite side of the road, opposite side of the car, shifting with your left hand. I enjoyed it.
Wow. See, I would probably not be comfortable doing that. I forgot all about that driving on the other side. Yeah.
Well, I
Oof.
spent a long time swapping between the two, so I actually prefer
Yeah.
sitting on the left-hand side and changing with my right.
I do prefer that.
But
It feels
Huh.
normal.
Really?
I'm right dominant, so I tend to prefer that. But I don't care as long as I'm in a car driving. I'm happy.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? I wonder why do we do things so different in the United States? I don't
Because you want to be
understand.
different.
Why? Our whole metric system's different. I mean, I don't understand it. It's kind of weird, actually. Oh,
It's all
Yeah, I
right.
don't
When
know.
you're finished, the Queen can have it back.
yeah. There you go. Yeah.
King now, though, right?
There you go.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Wow. I don't
So
know.
where would you like to go now that you've sort of perhaps got a little bit of that travel bug? Where would be next on your list?
I
If
think
you
I'd
were
like to see some
to
of the
consider.
Scandinavian countries, Sweden, Norway.
That'd be fun.
Big fan of like metal music, so like the melodic Swedish death metal, like some of the Norwegian black metal a little bit. It's like they're speaking my language.
There you go. That'd be cool. Does
So
Lisa like metal too?
I would add to that list. I would add Denmark.
I've heard good
Denmark
things
can be
about
quite
Denmark.
interesting. I would certainly, if you want something completely the opposite, I would add Iceland. Iceland is mental.
Iceland's definitely on the list.
Different
for sure.
planet.
Really? Iceland?
Iceland is spectacular.
I've never heard a bad thing about Iceland.
It's ludicrously expensive, but it's a different world. I've spent a lot of time in Sweden, some time in Finland. Finland's lovely as well. But certainly Sweden. Norway's nice, but Iceland is special. Iceland, you feel the air feels different, the water feels different.
I've heard the correct way to do Iceland is to do that. What is it? The ring road? There's like a big lap of
In Iceland.
And if you're going to do that, go in the summer. Don't have any chance of bad weather, because that's character building.
How warm does it get in Iceland? Does it get warm like here?
When we went at the end of November, and I think the warmest it got was -2 centigrade. There was a wind chill of about 20 degrees during the day. It dropped 10 to 15 degrees overnight. Plus the wind chill didn't change. So it was comfortably -35 to -40 centigrade, which is character building.
Yeah, I'd say.
I wouldn't want to be stuck in a car outside with a car broken down
No.
or slipped off the road or something at that point. But certainly in the summer, it's spectacular. I mean, one of the things I like, one of my favorite places is sort of Val d'Isère in France, southeast France, up in the mountains from Orange up into the Alps. During the summer, when the snow clears, Mont Blanc and all that area there, absolutely stunning chocolate box covers and beautiful green, lots of people outside enjoying outside. But Sweden, any time of year, I absolutely adore it.
Sweden, really?
It's good to know.
The beauty of it is, I think my preference for it, I mean, the Swedish people are spectacular. Once you get to know them, they're hospitable, but they're formal. So you're at a distance. And once they get to know you, they can be very, very, very pleasant. But the population density is so low.
Really?
Everyone lives in the cities. And the minute you go out, I mean, I spent a long time working there, and I based myself out of Stockholm, for example, or Gothenburg on the West Coast. And when you went up to Jönköping or somewhere north to visit a customer, you get out of the city And typically my sales colleague was based there in Stockholm, and he would drive, or I would drive once we got out of the city, and you wouldn't see another person till you got to the next city. And that could be something like 2, 3, 4 hours drive of nothing, nobody, no cars on the road, nothing. Brilliant. Absolutely beautiful. The air's clean. The water's clean. After 3 days, your skin feels different. Your hair looks different. Love it. Absolutely love it.
There you go.
Gothenburg's nice.
If you can appreciate it, Andy, but when I go to Europe, I notice the food in the restaurants tend to taste fresher than in North America. I can't really explain it. But
I agree with you 100%. I've been to places where the food is just totally different. Yeah, I agree. I don't know what we do here in the States.
I've been to Frankfurt with work a couple of times, and you mentioned the pork knuckle. If we're in Frankfurt, that's what I'm having every time.
Yeah.
Pork knuckle on a bed of sauerkraut with fries. Or roast, just straight roast potatoes. I will eat a mountain of that till it comes out of my ears.
Oh my God. Well, I got one more question for you, my friend. Would it be possible to have you come back on? I know you're busy. I know you have one of the toughest jobs at eSentire. I get it, but would you be able to come back on? Maybe with Lisa, we could do a group show together. Maybe, 6 to 9 months from now, let us know some new stuff, new things are going on. Are your travelings going? Any new crazy things that are happening? Would that be possible?
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be awesome. I would love to have you guys on. And it was funny. We had my wife on one time too, which was a blast. She was.
You spent 10 minutes talking about your driving, right?
Yeah. Oh, we talked about the driving. She was like, But yeah, that'd be great, man. Having you on, that'd be a lot of fun. But I do appreciate you coming on, man, hanging out with us and chatting and telling us some of those cool things. And we definitely want to hear an audio clip of the drums, man. Send it to us, and we will put it on the show. It'd be great. And thanks again for.
Are we building a band for this podcast now, then, John?
I think we should build a band. I think we should do that. Start a band, Andy, or maybe
have to go back through the recordings because we've got a couple of
fraternity.
People.
We can either do a fraternity or a band, one of those two, and just travel, just do some crazy stuff. I think we should. Life's too short. Let's just have some fun.
Correct me if I'm wrong, John. You play drums too, don't you? Or
I am not a good drummer at all. I mostly can play air drums, and that's pretty much it. I did play drums a little bit when I was younger, but not like what you do. I mean, you're like a professional drummer, man. That would be killer. Being famous, doing a studio drumming.
Who were we talking to the other day, John, that we mentioned Drumeo? We were talking about somebody for a recording, and somebody mentioned Drumeo. Is that something that tickles your fancy, Brandon?
I love Drumeo. I really, really like their series with professional drummers hearing a song that they've never heard before, but they hear the drumless version and kind of do their stylistic take of it. Yeah.
Oh, you're right. We were talking about that. And I don't know who.
I find that series and that channel in general, they tend to get out to people that aren't even drummers, maybe not. They don't have like a vested interest in drumming, but they find the videos very entertaining.
Yeah, they're awesome.
It's very cool.
They're awesome. Yeah, I think I've seen stuff where they didn't know the song, but they started playing and they were good. It was awesome because you can hear it. You're like, that works in that song too. I mean, how cool is that? Because they can hear it, and to keep time with everybody. Like, you're the backbone. The drummers are the backbone of everything. Keep the tempo right. Keep the speed. Everything. It's just like. Runs the show, just kind of like you at eSentire. You run the show. Let's be honest.
But this is the point, isn't it? This is people. What's about Drumeo? What's good about Drumeo is you're listening to somebody who knows their instrument inside out.
Yep.
They feel it. They breathe it.
And they start jamming.
It's them, and they can feel where the notes need to be.
Yes.
Much like what we do here.
Yep, you feel it and you do it. Yep, that's awesome. But yeah, Brandon, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you joining. Andy and I can't wait. We're waiting for you to come on. That's awesome. I'm glad you finally decided to do it with us and hang out. But we'd love to have you and Lisa back on again. That'd be a lot of fun having you guys back on.
Yep, count me in.
Cool. All right.
Well, this has been another episode of the Cyber Culture Cafe series, part of the Cyber Talks podcast, presented by eSentire, the authority in managed detection and response. To learn how eSentire's next level MDR service can help you strengthen your security program and build cyber resilience, please visit eSentire.com. Brandon, thank you very much for taking the time today to talk to us. We look forward to the next episode and having you back on in the fullness of time to listen to your latest innovations.